Everybody, thanks for watching. Real quick, I want to thank everybody who has supported so far with the server drive, but I also want to talk to people who have been waiting for books and flash drives, send out emails, and talked about before the delay, or what happened with the books and what happened with the situation from the first set of books that we put out. So I know a lot of people didn't receive the message. A lot of people don't believe the message or whatever the situation is. But, like I said, I've been doing this for over a decade. I'm not going to destroy my reputation and everything that I've worked hard for to scam people out of books. So this video is more of a warning for people who want to keep harping on this as if it's a big conspiracy. I understand we deal in conspiracies and everybody want to think every little thing is a conspiracy and everybody who sells anything is a scam artist or a con artist or what have you. Been doing this for too long. I understand how people is. I know how people turn. This is why I never wanted to put myself on a stage too big to have people look at me as if I'm some type of politician or celebrity running for office and I have to be by the book and have to speak a certain way and do everything according to what they believe, I should be. It's not the case. We're talking about books. Now, I explained this is an ongoing court case. What happened was, one, I got approved to release the books, to get the books, one, and to be able to ship them out. The publisher, there's an issue with the publisher, which once this is all over, I'll go ahead and name and I'll talk about the situation even further. But the thing is this, the publisher held the books. And then with the court case being, pending and going on, we had to wait. They delayed the court case for 2 years. So we had everything held up and I couldn't even speak on it because there was a gag involved. Now, again, I'm a law school grad. I understand the law, how things work. So the issue was, one, the publisher was supposed to ship out books. So you guys got to understand, we had over 30,000 people order books, 30,000. And we had, of course, the PayPal links and whatever links we was using, our name on it. But that money was going to the publisher. And for shipping costs and everything like that, of course, you guys pay shipping, but of course, we had to pay the publisher those funds for shipping, which they held and a lot more. But the shipping was supposed to be taking place by the publisher, supposed to ship out you guys books. The only books that I shipped was books I signed. So you guys who got my signed copies, you see how it came. USPS. Some people got FedEx, what have you. I've sent people pictures. People who have been waiting, I've sent pictures of me, at the post office shipping their books. People who have been waiting and people who I talk to a lot, I sent pictures just to reassure them, hey, I just shipped your book. I signed it and I shipped it. So I sent a picture. So, some of you guys who just recently received books, when I emailed you a picture of me at the post office. So, and, you guys who've been waiting, you can expect that for some of you guys who I know who have been waiting for a long time, just to reassure you that your books are going out. Now, what we have happening now is people who's jumping all on YouTube and jumping in the comments and jumping on posts, calling me a con artist or a scam and don't order this because you'll never get it, so on and so forth. When the situation has been explained, that's defamation, by the way. Pay attention to the Cardi B situation and why she's suing that girl for defamation and she won. She's getting her money because you can't just jump on there and just say whatever you want and it's not true. The situation has been explained and it's clear as day. It's easy. We grown. Everybody's intelligent here. Everybody is smart. You can easily go to your bank and tell your bank that you didn't receive it and you want your money back. The bank will give you your money back. Plain and simple. It will come. They will take it from us. And that's all you had to do. If you didn't want to wait, or if you had an issue with waiting so long, if you think we're trying to scam you or delay you on purpose, you can always go to your bank and get your money back. Everybody knows this. So to make it like I'm holding people's money or I'm trying to scam people, it's just crazy. We sent out emails to people, about the server drive, trying to get servers to better this site, Merkabah Academy, to make things better. So we don't need replies and people responding negatively about books they've been waiting for because it's people who've been waiting since 2021. And I'm telling you, and you can believe it or not, probably out of the thousands of people who have been waiting since 2021, we probably only got a negative email from about 5 people. That's about it. That's all. I've explained to all those people the process, what's going on, what happened, why we was delayed, apologize. Going to give everybody the next book free who have been waiting, who's on that list. Books are still going out. We're shipping. We're talking thousands, a couple, tens of thousands of books and a small staff. And you got to understand, one, I have to pay for all those shipping costs now. I have to pay. It comes out of my pocket. You're talking about a couple $100,000. So it's a lot. Now, I had a company that's going to ship bulk, but we're going to wait till we get to lower numbers where it's more affordable to do that. And we'll let that company take over shipping. We're getting to that point. But in the meantime, it doesn't matter what I do. I still have to pay those costs, even though I'm waiting for a court case to be done so I can receive the funds that was already put up for shipping in the first place. Now, a lot of you guys got tracking numbers, and the orders that's going out for you guys who got tracking numbers previously, those are the ones that's going out because we have those slips that's already done and we could just ship those out. We're getting tracking numbers together for everybody else. The issue was, since I have a pending suit, and you can say it's a glitch, they can say whatever they want, just all of a sudden, since I have a pending suit with Google all of a sudden wanted to shut down my site for a couple weeks. So, for some things when you log in, they have you confirm through email or telephone. This wanted me to confirm through email. I couldn't get into the account to ship because I couldn't confirm the email through my Google. And I sent you guys in the last video, I sent the correspondence, the actual correspondence between me and them and me and YouTube and Google about the situation. I said, hey, I know they do this when they want to remove accounts. I couldn't get into the YouTube. I couldn't get into anything. Stuff happens. This is what's going on. But in no way am I trying to hold anybody's money or scam anybody out of anything, especially a book. It's a book. It's a book. I understand, people spent their money or what have you. Everybody's going to get their book. The people who ask for refunds, we sent those books out to those people anyway. So it's just what we're doing. It's a process. I know it's been long. I explained everything. That's all I can do. But again, in my over a decade being on YouTube and doing what I've been doing, this is the only issue I've ever had during that time. Everybody who ordered DVDs got their DVDs. Everybody who ordered whatever got whatever. A delay with some of the flash drives because we are working on books. We're trying to get those out. Flash drives are going to go out. We just send out a whole bunch. So I have people on that. They're taking care of that. So it's just a wait. It's not going to be as long of a wait as the people who've been waiting since 2021. You guys are going to get yours who recently ordered. You guys are going to get yours quicker. And again, that was the reason for the low price. The price, you paid a fraction of the price, 5 times less than what it is now. And again, if you missed it or didn't understand, I explained it. This is the reason why the price is so low. For 99 bucks, a book that I sell for $200, one book, it's $200. People pay $200 for it. You have people now paying $500 for all 5, but you guys got all 5 for under $100. So yeah, that was the reason for that, because we knew it could possibly be a delay. Now I sent emails out to people who's on the ready to ship list. You're on that list. It's coming soon. Be patient. It's coming. We're getting those out. The delay with the email held us back, but we're working on it. If you don't want to support and help with the server drive, don't buy the video. The video is for sale. This video is for sale to help specifically for the server drop. We need servers desperately. If you don't want to support that, fine. But don't email me some shit about me trying to scam you or what have you because you're waiting on books. Go to your bank, request a refund. And that's all it is. All there's to it. So yeah, I appreciate everybody who supported and, everybody who has, been real patient in the process. And I get it. People upset, they've been waiting for a long time, I understand. But in no way is there any type of scam or whatever going on. I'm not going to destroy my reputation and everything I worked so hard for and continue to work hard for over a book. So it is what it is. If you don't want to support, you don't have to support, but don't jump in the comment section saying that we scam you. So yeah, those matters will be taken care of. Again, make sure you guys take advantage of the sale while it still exists for never paying your membership. Make sure all that stuff is going towards service. That's been the main thing since I've been doing this. They're very expensive. All the help we can get, we appreciate it. They are expensive. We need good servers. Showed you guys in the video what it really takes to do this. People talk about support and this is why we can't do anything. And, and people who want to use this situation with the books to say, oh, this is why I don't support Black business. You're fucking crazy. Don't put that on me as if all black businesses is bad because of the situation that happened with me. Out of our control. It is what it is. But yeah, make sure you guys take advantage of the sale. Make sure you grab the membership while it's this low price, which again, you know, some people said that I tried to scam them out of never paying a membership, trying to charge them twice. You didn't follow the email. All you got to do is email us and say, update my account if you paid already. That's it. We're not asking you to pay twice. That's it. You just didn't follow the instructions. Send us an email. We'll update your account. You don't have to pay again. It's just that simple. So yeah, thanks to everybody who has supported so far. And we appreciate the help and support. I'm not a billionaire. I don't have crazy money for servers like Facebook. It's just that simple. This is what you do when you need support and, you know, help to build something that's going to help other people. You appeal to the people. You want to support? If not, don't hinder other people from trying to support. Just that simple. It's not that deep. It's a book. Just that simple. Let's get into this video.
Let's get into it. Okay, so let's read here, chapter 1. Then Moab rebelled against Israel after the death of Ahab. And Uzziah fell down through a lattice in his upper chamber that was in Samaria, and was sick. And he sent messengers and said unto them, Go inquire of Beelzebub, which we know is another name for Satan, the god of Ekron, which is in Israel, whether I shall recover of this disease. But the angel of the Lord said to Elijah, the Tishbite, which is in Israel, Arise, go up to meet the messengers of the king of Samaria, and say unto them, It is not because there is not a God in Israel that ye go to inquire of Beelzebub, the god of Ekron. Basically saying it's a god in Israel, why you going to ask this other god? Now therefore thus say the Lord, Thou shalt not come down from that bed on which thou art gone up, but shalt surely die. And Elijah departed. And then the messengers turned back unto him. He said unto them, Why are ye now turned back? And they said unto him, There came a man up to meet us, and said unto us, Go turn again unto the king that sent you, and say unto him, Thus saith the Lord, It is not because there is not a God in Israel that thou sendest to inquire of Beelzebub, the god of Ekron. Therefore thou shalt not come down from that bed on which thou art gone up, but shalt surely die. So basically, what happens here? He sends people to go inquire of Beelzebub instead of asking God. So what's going to happen is he's going to get pissed. Uzziah is going to get pissed at Elijah for basically prophesying what happened. So what he does is he sends 50 men to go find Elijah. So when they go and find Elijah, Elijah's like up on the side of a hill, and the 50 men tell him to come down. And he said, if you are a man of God, basically come down. And he said, I am a man of God. And he basically going to prove it. So he asked God to send down, fireballs to basically, consume them with fire and kill them all. So that's what happens. God sends fire down, rains fire on the men. All 50 men are burnt up. So word gets back to Uzziah, and he sends 50 more men. 50 more men go, say the same thing. Come on down here. Same thing happened. Rains fire on them, kill them. He sends another 50 men. But this dude was smart. Captain, he goes up there and he's like, please don't kill us. Dude, send us here. We don't want no trouble. We're trying to live. What can we do? So angel tells Elijah to basically go down there and talk to the people and hear them out. So that's what he does. He goes down there and he talks to the people. And Elijah's basically like, I told him what's going to happen. He should have asked God. He asked Beelzebub. He's dead. And it comes true. He dies. So now Uzziah dies and he doesn't have an heir to the throne. So Jehoshaphat's son, Joram, takes the throne. So now understand, Elijah is a prophet. We see he has so many different prophecies and so many things he talks about comes true. And God helps him a whole lot, in the book. So eventually, as it was said, that God is going to call Elijah up. And Elijah has an apprentice named Elisha. And it's one of the things people get confused. You'll see that a lot in the Bible where somebody has a name that sounds exactly like somebody else and they're closely related. And I guess, like I said, they was trying to keep names easy, making up all these stupid names. So they kept his name simple. So you have Elijah and Elisha. Elisha is the apprentice of Elijah. And when you begin to get into the Bible, you got to understand there is like a school of prophets, which we'll talk about. So you have, set up in First Samuel, they set up a school of just prophets. So you have a school of people who are just prophets, and a prophet is going to be traveling with leaders. It's going to be traveling with people. So whenever they go out, whenever a civilization goes out somewhere, you have your prophet. So you have like your, blacksmith dude, and they have singers, which is, you're going to hear about a lot. It's always singers with them. They always have somebody, of course, a cook and medical and so on and so forth. And you have a prophet. And these prophets come from a school, which, we'll get into. So, time comes and God is basically getting ready to call Elijah, up. So now it says, and Elijah said unto him, and this is 2 Kings chapter 2, start here at 6. And Elijah said unto him, tarry, I pray thee, here, for the Lord hath sent me to Jordan. And he said, as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. And they two went on. And 50 men of the sons of the prophet went and stood. The sons of the prophet is that group that I was just telling you about, of prophets. Sons of the prophets is basically the school of the prophets I was just talking about. So whenever you see sons of the prophets, that's what they call them. It's a school of prophets. And 50 men of the sons of the prophets went and stood to view afar off. And they too stood by Jordan. And Elijah took his mantle and wrapped it together and smote the water, and they were divided hither. Moses wasn't the only one who parted the sea, parted water. And so that they two went over on dry ground. And it came to pass, when they were gone over, that Elijah said unto Elisha, ask what I shall do for thee before I be taken away from thee. And Elijah said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me. So basically what's going to happen, you're going to have Elijah crosses over the river, Jordan. And he asks Elisha, what do you want? Basically, tell me what you want. I try to make it happen before I go. God's getting ready to call me. So he says, I want a double portion of your spirit, of your soul. So Elijah is going to tell him, if you can see God take me away, then this is going to happen. You'll have a double portion. You'll have your wish going to become true. It's something hard. It's almost impossible. But if you can see what's going to happen, then that means you're going to be fine. So what happens is, everybody knows, you have the fiery chariots come down, and the chariots basically come with a whirlwind, and the whirlwind basically scoops them up and, takes them away. And Elisha sees the whole thing, but the other prophets see it too. They see him get swept up in a whirlwind. So, when he's swept up, his cloak, comes down, and Elijah picks it up and he puts it on. He has the staff and he goes to the water. Because remember, you got to give me some kind of power. We got here crossing this water. How am I supposed to get back? So he walks up to the water and boom, he parts the water just like Elijah did. Now, when he comes through, these sons of the prophets, from the school, they see him come through. They see him with Elijah's cloak on and everything. They see that he parted the water, and they're like, oh shit, you got the power. You're the man now. So you're the one, you got what you asked for. And this is the crazy part. Okay. When you get into the Old Testament, Jesus is not the most powerful person. Everybody's Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Compared to Elisha, as you will see, Jesus is nothing. Elisha is going to display so much more power and do so many more powerful things than Jesus did. He's going to do everything that Jesus did. Raise the dead, he part the sea, basically prophecies, everything. He's going to do everything that Jesus did and more. And it's crazy that this dude is so powerful. And he's put here in the Bible. And of course, it's almost like a foreshadowing of Jesus. And why we can say that God gives people these kind of powers, because prophets before Jesus had powers. Elijah is going to be powerful. He's going to do a lot. So, after he goes to the sons of the prophets, he's basically, anointed as being the next and the best prophet and the main prophet of the school. And he goes on to basically try to help lead the Israelites. So now, after Elijah is swept up in a whirlwind, Elisha takes over. Now, remember, the sons of the prophets see him swept up. So they're like, yo, We just seen him get swept up. Let's go see if we can find him. Like he probably landed somewhere, or maybe God set him down on a mountain somewhere and he's stuck. He probably need our help. So let's go and try to find him. And Elisha is trying to convince him, like, no, he went to God. Like, it's not what you think it is. But they don't want to hear it. They concerned about him. So he like, okay, go look for him. And they spend 3 days trying to find this dude before they finally realize, he didn't land nowhere. Comes back and Elisha is like, I told you so. But there's another situation where don't think because these people are dealing with biblical things and they're supposed to be the anointed of God that these people are good. Elisha is just as sick as Solomon and David and all the other people, and he does sick things. Case in point, let's read here. This is 2 Kings 2:23. And he went up from thence unto Bethel, and as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city, and mocked him, and said unto him, Go up, thou bald head. Go up, thou bald head. And he turned back and looked on them, and cursed them in the name of the Lord. And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the woods, and tear 42 children of them. And when he came from thence to Mount Carmel, and from thence he returned to Samaria. So understand what happened. He's going up the mountain. I guess he was moving too slow. And they're like, go ahead, bald head dude. Go ahead, bald head guy. And they mocking him. So he basically prays for 2 bears to come out there and maul 42 kids. I mean, think about that. I mean, they just put that in the Bible like it's just something that's just normal. Kids is teasing on doing what kids do. And 2 she-bears come out and maul 42 kids. But these supposed to be prophets that people are supposed to follow and live their life by. If you do something wrong, if kids act up, we can just have them killed by bears. I mean, think about that. This is the kind of stuff they put in there to kind of slowly show you how sick these people is. So now, it's a drought in Samaria. And one of the first miracles we see he do for the people is, they're dying of thirst. He tells them to go take some salt, sprinkle it on the waters that's receding or that's drying up, and they're going to come back. And they do so, and it does. So now understand, you have Joram, who is now the king of Israel. And he's Ahab's son. So you have the Moabites, and the king of the Moabites, Moab, it's basically, and Moab is in modern day Jordan. So they're basically paying tribute to the king of Israel, Joram. And the king of the Moabites is tired. He's tired of giving them sheep. He's tired of paying tribute to him. So he basically rebels against him and want to start a war. So now the king of Judah, which is Jehoshaphat, is basically like, okay, well, we can't allow this to happen. So we're going to join forces with Joram and go to war against the Moabites. So they basically come together, usually these two. I understand that at this time. I never think people don't understand that even though it's Israel and Judah, these are 2 separate kingdoms. They are not exactly, friendly with each other, even though they're the same people. So they usually do things separately. Now, they understand they are Jews and people go to Jerusalem to praise God. And Judah is like where everybody stays, but the more higher, prestigious people is in Jerusalem. So they come together and go against the Moabites. And on their way through the desert to fight them, famine sinks in, drought and everything starts to happen. So Joram, who is son of Ahab, remember Ahab was a pagan basically, and did a bunch of crazy stuff, and their whole line is supposed to be killed. But he goes and he's like, yo, we need a prophet. Is there a prophet around? So we can basically try to get help from God. And I understand this is how it worked back then. This is how the Bible is telling you how it worked with them. Everybody left. They had a prophet. If something happened, they would pray to God. As far as with the Hebrews, of course, they would pray to God and, something good would happen for them. So they had to do it this way because you would have to explain how these many different wars going on. And then you have one main prophet who we know the name of that's making stuff happen. Well, what happened for the other people, somewhere else in another war, in another part of town or what have you. This is how they try to explain that. So they go ask, Joram go finds Elisha. Because the people are like, okay, yeah, we have a prophet. We have Elisha. He's in the back somewhere. So they go and find Elisha. And Joram goes to Elisha and says, hey, it's drought. Can you pray to God? Can you get us some help? And Elisha says some slick shit to him like, why don't you go ask them to go tell you about your parents, the pagans, basically. So he like, huh? But for his respect for Jehoshaphat, out of respect for Jehoshaphat, he's like, okay, I'm going to help y'all out. So he goes and, he prays to God. God speaks through him and basically tell them that, okay, I'm going to basically help y'all out, get y'all enough water, pools and pools of water to drink, and y'all be able to feed y'all cattle and everything like that, and they'll be fine. I'm also going to allow y'all to win a war. So what he does is he gives them help, the water and everything like that. And then in the morning, when the Moabites wake up, they wake up and puddles of water, big pools of water everywhere, and the water's bloody. So they know that, they get ready to go to war. So they see the bloody pools of water everywhere, and they think that, the war happened, or maybe the people from Judah and from Jerusalem fought each other and just killed each other off because there's so much blood. So they're like, all right, well, bet. Let's just go into their camp and start collecting their stuff. So when they go to the camp, they wake up, they jump up and just start killing them, beat them, chase them all the way back to their kingdom. So what happens is they get back to the kingdom, they destroy the city, and they basically kill almost everybody except for the king. So the king, he gets away, and they chasing him down. And what he does is he grabs his firstborn son and he sacrifices him on the wall of the temple. He sacrifices him on the wall of the palace as a burnt offering to Shamash. So it says here, and when the king of Moab saw that the battle was too sore for him, he took with him 700 men that drew swords to break through even unto the king of Edom. But they could not. Then he took his eldest son that should have reigned in his stead and offered him as a burnt offering upon the wall. And there was great indignation against Israel, and they departed from him and returned to their land. So think about this. He sacrifices his firstborn to the god Shamash, which Shamash and Beelzebub was the gods of Edom that they worshiped. And indignation, that's like having like a sore feeling or a bad, attitude towards somebody. It's like, you have like aggression towards people. So it says it was indignation against the Israelites, and they basically fled home. So what is this? What is this? And that's one of the things in the Bible that they try to hint to that a lot of people don't pick up on. Think about it. God in the Bible, he's killing millions of people because they are worshiping other gods. And he's saying, I'm the only God. So we look at it as if we look at stuff today. People are worshiping these gods that don't actually exist. They just, praise and act like they do, but they really don't. But this sacrifice that he made of his son clearly did something, and something happened. And it scared the Hebrews away that God sent, that God prophesied would win, which they did. But it's giving you a hint as to the God of the Bible is not who he say he is, as we talked about before. But what is this other power, this other God that clearly made something happen that scared them away? Is there other actual gods with powers that these people are worshiping in the Bible? Think about that. So if there are other gods, and God in the Bible talks about it, clearly, don't go a-whoring after other gods or worshiping other gods. And clearly these people are sacrificing babies to gods and doing so much to these other gods as if it's working or as if something is happening. So who are these other gods? What's going on? And again, going back to the garden, God is scared. We see God is worried. Don't worship these other gods. Why? Who is these other gods? And it's just simply a metaphor of understanding that before the Greeks went out and started conquering, the other gods was the gods of the ancient world, the black gods. Plain and simple. And understanding that one, it takes energy. Talked about in Voodoo, how when you sacrifice, that energy gets converted into an energy that works for you. And you got to understand that these other gods is talking about, who are the people they're destroying? And they're destroying these African people, these African civilizations. And it wasn't so much they was worshiping other gods. They were pagans. They worship nature. They worship, the sun and everything else. But they have real power as far as understanding about consciousness and manifestation and everything like that. So as it says in Genesis, they are one, and this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do, because they was actually, everything was working for them. You come in and you mess with the people's spirituality and you break them up, which is their true power is in a unity, then they're not going to have that power no more. So we got to understand the little hints it's giving us as to when it's talking about other gods and why, the white man basically don't want them doing that or knowing about this stuff. And it's giving you that hint. So now, he goes on after this battle and continues to do miracles. He raises a child from the dead. Child dies, brings it back from the dead. He takes poison food and makes it clean again. He feeds a bunch of people, like Jesus. One of the men borrowed an axe to help build, and the axe fell in the water. So Elias comes and he throws a stick in the water, and the axe magically floats back up. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about that Elisha is doing. And you see this a lot. You'll see when you're reading so many crazy, magical things he's doing that's beyond what Jesus did. So making stuff float and raising people from the dead, you would think it's powers, Jesus only had. Now, when you actually read the book, you'll see God bestow powers upon these people. And it makes you think, about today. If God was around and wanted his people to be saved and all this and that, where's the people with power? Like, what's going on? Nobody has magical powers and all this stuff like we see in the Bible. So, he's doing miracles and everything like that. And what happens is Naaman. Naaman is the king of Syria. So Naaman has leprosy. Y'all, you probably know the story. So he has leprosy, and they basically like, hey, you need to go check out this dude, Elisha. He could probably help you out, whatever like that. So he hears so much about Elisha. He like, I better go see this guy myself. And this is a king coming to see to him as a prophet, a regular person. But Naaman goes to where Elisha is. And he knocks on the door, and he's expecting that, Elisha is going to greet him. There's going to be some kind of, meeting or something like that. But when he goes to the door, guy answers the door, and he's basically like, yeah, well, Elisha said you need to go wash yourself off in the River Jordan like 7 times. It's 3 or 7 times. I believe it's 7. Go and wash yourself off in the River Jordan, and you're going to be fine. So, he a king. He like, what the hell? What you mean he ain't going to even come meet me or come say it to himself, say it to me himself? Why is this dude like not coming to talk to me? But he's like, just do what he said. He gets pissed. He leaves. Then, he thinks about it like, okay, why the River Jordan? Why not another river that's better or more cleaner or so on and so forth? Why that river? So he said, what do you got to lose? He goes, wash himself off. Boom. Leprosy is gone. So he's happy, and he's like, goes back and he's trying to offer Elisha whatever. He said, do you need anything? What do you want? What can I give you? And, Elisha is like, no, I'm cool. I don't need nothing. So on and so forth. So he leaves. Now, Elisha's servant, Gehazi. Gehazi is like, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. So what he does is he tracks him down. He goes and follows after Naaman, king. And he goes and catches up with him, and he says, Elisha changed his mind. He was tripping. He basically said, let me get some clothes, let me get some talents of silver and gold and everything like that. So, the king, he's happy. He's like, sure, he go even more silver than you asked for. He go everything you asked for. Thank you. And, he just came up off a lot. So, of course, why would you mess with somebody that has contact with God? So, of course, Elisha finds out, and he goes to him and he says, dude, you lied, theft, whatever like that. So basically, the leprosy is now going to be on you and your family. So as soon as he steps out the door, he turns white with leprosy. Crazy stuff like that. The Bible is an amazing book. A lot of crazy stories in there when you read it, and it'll have you cracking up, and it'll have you like sick to your stomach a lot of times too, what's in this book. But we're going to get into a lot of this stuff as we go through it. But it's an overall message that these next books is trying to give us as to how they gain control and who is in control and the history that they are stealing to try to make this all work. So now later you have the king of Armenia, which he will also be the king of Syria. It would be like the same situation with Judah and Jerusalem, where you have the Armenians ruling Syria. So it might be 2 different kings, but same kingdom. They would be the king of both, if you understand. So you have king of the Armenians, right? He is basically trying to understand, like, who is really ruling, Jerusalem, who's ruling Judah. And his men is like, well, you need to talk to Elisha, because Elisha talks to the king, and the king basically does what he says. And, Elisha can basically tell him what's going on in your bedroom. So he didn't like that. So he sends a bunch of men, a whole big army of men after Elisha. And one of his servants gets up and he sees all these dudes everywhere. And he's like, what are we going to do? We're doomed. And Elisha is like, nah, we're cool. And he's like, what are you talking about? We're surrounded by men and we're basically done. So Elisha asks God to let him see. So God allows him to see. And when he sees, he looks up and he sees that all the men from the Armenian kingdom is basically surrounded by these fiery chariots. That's like the army of God, you might as well say, that's surrounding these men. So it's more of them than it is of the Armenians. So basically, Elisha asks God to blind them, blind the men, blind these men. So he blinds them all, and they all struck and blind, and they wandering around crazy. So he pretends like he's somebody else, and he's going to help the people. He's like, I'm going to help you guys out. I'm going to lead you guys. And he basically leads them into Israel, into the Israelite king. And then the Israelite king is like, do we kill them all? What do we do? And Elisha is like, no. So feeds them all, restores their sight, and sends them back home. So that's like an incentive to the people to understand who the true God they should be following is. And the people go back. But of course, the Armenian king, he didn't like that. So what he does is King Ben-Hadad, he basically attacks Samaria, which Samaria is basically, it borders Galilee. It's a part of the Palestine. It's part of Palestine is central Israel, you might as well say. So he attacks Samaria, and he attacks them so bad it causes famine, and the people are starving to death. So the king is walking outside, king of Israel, walking outside the palace walls or what have you, and a woman comes up to him, and she asks him for help. And he's like, I can't help you, but what's wrong? Some king, right? So she tells him the story. She's like, my neighbor came to me. And it's one of the stories that you hear when they say, well, y'all ate your babies. Hebrews, they ate their own babies. So her neighbor comes to her and says, hey, we starving to death. We're going to die. Let's eat your son today, and tomorrow we'll eat my son. So somehow the woman agrees to this. And they boil her son, and they eat him. But the next day when she like, okay, we'll offer up your son now, let's eat him. The lady hides him. So she basically telling the king, like, can you help me out? Like, can you help me find this woman's son so we can eat him because we're starving? Crazy, right? Some God. So the king is pissed. He's upset. And he gets so upset that he basically hires an assassin to kill Elisha, because he's like, how the hell we have prophet who's supposed to be talking to God, who's supposed to be getting all these blessings and everything like that, but my people starving so bad that they eating babies. So he sends the assassin, but he gets to Elisha's house before the assassin does. And he asks Elisha, he's like, why should I follow you? Why should I follow your God? Why should I listen to anything you have to say? Because people starving to death and nothing is happening. So, Elisha's like, chill the fuck out. This is what's going to happen. By tomorrow, everybody is going to be able to buy food. They're going to be able to buy barley and flour for like 1 pence, like 1 cent. And he's like, impossible. How is this going to happen? He's just like, chill out. It's going to be cool. So now, after this, you have these 4 lepers. 4 men, they have leprosy. Remember, it's famine. They starving to death. They also have leprosy, so they're going to die anyway. So they are like, man, let's just go into the Syrian encampment and just beg them for some food. Maybe they'll feel sorry for us, and give us some food, because we're going to die if we don't eat, but, we're going to die anyway because we have leprosy. So even if we do go and they kill us, we're going to die anyway. So I'd rather, get killed by them than starve to death, So this is their thinking. So they go into the Syrian camp, to ask for food. When they get there, completely empty. Like, not completely empty, like nothing is there. Everything is there. Food's there, goats there, horses there. It's filled with everything you could possibly want and need when they get there. So they get there and they're looking around and they're like, what the hell? So they see all this food, they eat real quick. They stuff in their pockets with gold. They run away and leave with a bunch of gold and go hide and stash it. And they like, we got away, before they can get back. But then, time passes and they thinking like, ain't nobody come looking for us. We ain't see nobody go by. Let's go back. So they go back and they do it again. They eat, they take some more gold, stash it. They do it a third time. But then they get scared because they like, man, this is too easy. This is a setup or something. Somebody's going to come after us in the morning. We're going to be trying to walk home and try to spend this money later, and we're going to get killed. So what they do is they go and tell, the king of Israel, what has happened. Like, we got to go to the Syrian encampment. It's completely empty. Of course, the king don't believe him.